Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piwowarski, coming to you live from the East Coast. It's the coast with the most from the co-host with the most here on The Rundown. Two-way views, conservative news, and Craig, guess what day it is?
It's raining tacos from out of the sky. Tacos, no need to ask why. Just open your mouth and close your eyes. It's raining tacos. It's raining tacos out in the street. Tacos, all you can eat. Lettuce and shells, cheese and meat. It's raining tacos. Yum, 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 yum. It's like a dream. Yum, 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 yum. Bring your sour cream.
Oh, yeah, got to love Taco Tuesday, especially as we are going to be partying like it's episode 999.
That's today?
That 999 is today. It was supposed to be Friday, but we had a bit of a family emergency here in the DeLuz household, so that's why we weren't on Friday and we weren't on yesterday. But things have started to mellow out a little bit, so we were able to we were able to get it done and get here.
Good. Yeah, don't think of it as the DeLuz household. Think of it as the DeWin household.
The DeWin household.
That's
right.
That's the attitude we want.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, but we're here. This is episode 999 of the Rundown. Tomorrow's going to be episode 1000. Can't believe we're already here.
Tomorrow's my off day, though. So,
well, we'll work it out. We're not doing 1000 without you. So,
I'll be here.
Okay. Thank you. We'll work it out. Well, we will definitely work it out. How was your weekend, sir?
Good, I think. Yeah.
Excellent.
I don't remember anything bad, so I'll go with good.
You're like, I survived.
Yeah. Yep.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with surviving. But anyway, we're having a good time. I got to tell you, for me, it was, I'll just say family emergency. And just know it wasn't a pleasant weekend, but I made it through.
Yes.
And
everybody made it through.
Yes, everybody made it through. Sometimes you just got to hold on to that and be okay with, live to celebrate another weekend.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
Good stuff. Well, there's a lot of interesting things to talk about in the news today, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. But before we do, you know what we have to do, and that's right, what we always start off with, and that is a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, our good friends over at Hitman Industries. That's hitmanindustries.net. You want to get yourself some AR barrels? They got everything. They got rifle caliber, pistol caliber, any length you desire, as well as a myriad of other kinds of barrels for rifles and pistols. Check them out at hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. If you want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market, get on over to hogholsters.com. That's HAWG holsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, security, fire, EMS, paintball, camping, whatever it is, get your group together, get your agency together, place an order at uscombatgear.com, where you can get everything except the gun.
That's right, folks. These are our sponsors. They bring us to you so that we can bring you to them. Do us a favor, do them a favor, do yourselves a favor. Visit their websites. Go there, check them out, spend some money with them. And when you do, make sure you tell them it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. Also want to encourage you, if you're watching the program live, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, guess what? You're watching us live. We would love to hear from you. Just go ahead and hit the chat. Let us know what you think about the program, what you think about the topic that we're discussing. Once again, we would love to hear from you. Just know this, that all we ask is that you are interesting. You don't even have to agree with us. In fact, when you disagree, it's even more interesting because then we get to mock you.
Oh, wow. Is that a mockingbird?
The mockingbird?
Another mockingbird?
Nothing like being able to mock folks.
Dude, I'd mock that guy just for wearing that backpack. I mean,
Just
come on.
for wearing that backpack. That he totally has earned a good mocking.
Yep.
All right, folks. Well, the first one here is now we all know that the Democrat philosophy is never let an emergency go to waste, or never let a tragedy go to waste. And clearly, the idea or the fact that there's a homeless epidemic. Used to be it was affecting a lot of the nation, most of the nation. Now it's primarily just affecting California. But it turns out that, once again, the liberals and the left, they've decided that they're going to take full advantage. And there is right now it's in the hundreds of millions, but in the end, it's going to wind up being a multi-billion-dollar home affordable housing scam that has been taking place in Southern California. And by the way, a lot of this is funded by taxpayer dollars, by federal taxpayer dollars. As several billions of dollars in taxpayer money has come to the state of California to increase our homelessness. And here's the story.
Federal officials have charged two LA-based property developers alleging misuse of $50 million for a homeless housing project in Thousand Oaks. In a separate case, 44-year-old Stephen Taylor was indicted for allegedly defrauding lenders, inflating the value of properties sold to Project HomeKey developers.
Investigations that led to the Holmes arrest and Taylor indictment are just the beginning. We will continue to go where the evidence takes us. We are tracking billions of dollars of public money coming into our 7-county district that is intended to be going to address homelessness. Too often, this money has been wasted, mismanaged, or outright stolen.
With more, we continue our conversation with LAist Watchdog correspondent Nick Gerda. Nick, you've long covered LA's homelessness crisis and the response to it. What's your reaction to these charges? Are you surprised by what you heard today?
You know, it's a good question. In some ways, I was not surprised because one of the deals that they were describing in these charges, I've actually been investigating myself for a number of months here at LAist, going over thousands of pages of documents, totally separately and independently from the government's investigation. Again, we're an independent news agency, but we've been looking into that deal, and it's certainly raised a lot of questions among many people who've looked at it around a property flip where this person who's been indicted, Stephen Taylor, purchased a property, or is alleged to have purchased a property for $11 million, and then a short time after that sold it to taxpayers, essentially, for $27 million. And explaining that price increase is there's a lot of questions around that. And what the government's alleging here is that he had made some false statements to lenders who are lending money for that. But there seems to be more that they know that they haven't really come out with yet about that deal. We've been investigating that, like I said, and it's unfortunate. It's always unfortunate to see allegations that dollars that are meant to be serving vulnerable people are misused. Again, these are allegations, but it's something that we take very seriously at LAist. We've been investigating. We're going to continue to investigate, and it's at a time when there's been a number of audits and other reports and investigations that have found that in Los Angeles, there's unfortunately been an environment where there's not the kind of stringent checking of what's happening with dollars, tracking where it's going, what service, verifying services being provided that the public would expect and that the courts would expect. And there was multiple reports and audits that have been finding that over the past year. There's been promises.
So this is the guy. This is the story that he wrote over at the LAist, but it's also being reported by Red State, and now, as you see, even the mainstream media is starting to pick this up. It notes here, it says federal officials announced charges against two Los Angeles-based property developers on Thursday in separate cases that allege misuse of government funds that were meant to address the homelessness crisis. Now, Mike, I'm not even going to read the rest of the story because it's not going to be much different than what they've said there. But here's basically what's happening is, you basically have people who are buying properties, right? They were buying things like like the people who bought Extended America, right? Someone bought it out, right? Blackstone, Blackstone bought it, right? Then they turned around and they sold it to these developers. They bought it from the developers bought it for like 11, for a small amount of money, like $11 million, the specific properties. Then that developer turned around and sold it to the city because they came up as a housing emergency, and they sold it to the city for $30 million. And they're doing this, they did this literally over and over again. They were inflating it. And what the city was doing is, because it was an emergency and they were considered an emergency, they weren't doing all of the checks. They weren't checking on the values of the properties. They were basically in these emergency agendas were hiding the fact that these purchases were going on. And I'm willing to bet that basically what they're doing is they're flipping properties, but when they flip the property, the people who wind up buying it is the taxpayers, and not even the taxpayers not just the taxpayers of LA, but these are federal and state dollars. Once again, when they talk about the homeless industrial complex, this is the sort of crap they're talking about.
Yeah, listen, nothing unusual, Craig, for California. I'm just surprised that they haven't tied your governor into it yet. It seems him and his wife have all the market on funneling funds away and lying about money. Craig, I also seem to remember somebody else in the last year and a half that was convicted on 32 counts of inflating the property value prices. But
see, now what he was convicted of isn't actually a crime. Well, that wasn't the 32 counts. The 32 counts was the, having someone sign an NDA. Paying someone to sign an NDA, which we all know is not illegal. Anyway, but he was convicted of overvaluing his property in order to pay $500 billion. That would eventually wind up getting thrown out.
Yes, and the bank was okay with it, recall, and he paid off the loan early, and nobody had a problem with it. Yet, that seems to be the first step in this giant criminal conspiracy there. Going on in California, and why did it take so long for this to come about?
And by the way, just so you know, two things to make sure that you know about this. Number one, taxpayers did actually pay for this. There was an actual victim in this crime, and that would be you and me. Yep. And the reason why this actually came about is because of this guy right here. His name is Bill Asaley. He is the U.S. attorney there in Los Angeles, happened to be a Republican. Let me say that again, a Republican assemblyman. So that's how this all came about to be, because no Democrat appointed U.S. attorney is going to pull this stuff. Is going to point this stuff out.
Yes. And this guy, very respectable guy. I like him. He even shows up wearing a suit and tie. Now, the reporter, he didn't wear a suit and tie. I don't have a problem with that. But what was with that hairstyle? I'm just saying there's something going on with. I sent you a picture of it. There's something going on with that guy's hair. I don't know what that is. I stared at them on. I couldn't even hear what he was saying.
Oh, well, okay. So the problem with that is he's using a fake background. So it's not like he has a green screen behind him. It's some sort of and basically his hair is blending in with the background. It's going in and out. You don't see that when you're on these Zoom meetings or people have the fake backgrounds.
Yeah, I saw that, but he's got it's like a new broccoli top kind of thing going on there.
It's like he's trying to be a white version of a kid from Kid and Play.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or no, Vanilla Ice.
Okay.
That was the Vanilla Ice look, except it's not shaved on the side.
Yeah, that's just weird. It was weird.
Definitely weird. By the way, speaking of weird, now y'all know Gavin Newsom, right? It comes from money, right? We all know he's related to the Gettys. We all know that he's related to Nancy Pelosi, and he comes from old money, not new money. He comes from old money there in the city of San Francisco. Well, he was recently on a podcast where he basically was kind of insinuating that he grew up poor, and here's an example of some of the things, some of the idiocy that he was saying on the podcast.
But also, it was also about paying the bills, man, and it was just like hustling. And so I was out there kind of raising myself, turning on the TV, started, just getting obsessed, sitting there with the Wonder Bread and 5 stacks of,
Man, it's like the White Stack
peanut butter
5
and
story.
Come on. Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Man, I
Grew
love,
up,
man.
bro.
Are you talking about me?
Young
That's
YG.
it.
YG,
But
man, I do it. I do it.
every day in the backyard, just bouncing the basketball, throwing the ball against the wall until the ball is just like fraying, man, and your arms
Entertaining
fall
yourself.
off. That's it, whole thing. So just and then then this student that was shitty student is in the back with his head down. All of a sudden, started throwing the baseball a little faster than everyone else, and started make a few free throws because I was sitting there practicing 500 of them every damn night. And in high school, I look up in the stands, my dad's back up there.
Okay, dope.
And it's like, man, and then he's bringing his friends and you're captain of the team and you're like, gee, and it just saved me and it got me into college.
Yeah, the fact that he is related to the gays. So poor little rich boy, Gavin Newsom, grew up poor and hustled to survive. Now, do you think that's the same story he told? I mean, let me clarify. If you watched any of the other podcasts that he's done, that's not the same story that he told. You want to talk about trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for, Mike?
Lie, rewrite the narrative.
Lie. Well, yeah, try and lie. Let me read this real quick. It says, poor Gavin Newsom, who knew he grew up poor, had to hustle to stay alive, resorting to Wonder Bread and mac and cheese for meals, according to his latest appearance on the All the Smoke podcast. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of smoke, and he was blowing it up their asses, let me tell you. Most poor families back in the 1970s and 80s ate generic, day-old store brand bread, discounted canned soup and meats, and government cheese. I knew skinny poor kids. Anyway, so the point being, first of all, let me just read this real quick. I wanted to show this to you. So this is what we know about him. It says here, okay. In a 2003 article bringing up baby Gavin, the story says Newsom's father, William, was a judge and helped Gordon Getty get access to the Getty family money. I've read the article several times over the past years, but it is no longer available at SF Weekly. Mays found an archived version, so they found an archived version of it. But here it is with him, basically about him being raised, connected to money, connected to the Gettys, right? How this dude is basically raised like a freaking prince. And here he is talking about how poor he was. This is clearly a guy trying to run for president.
Oh yeah, and starting the lies early. That way those will be the platform for him. Wonder Bread and mac and cheese. Come on. No, I never had Wonder Bread. We always had the store brand, the thin slice store brand. And then the mac and cheese was the generic, We had the AMP brand from the AMP store.
Hold on, I'm trying to find this video that I think will fit this. I was born a. Anyway, I'm not gonna be able to get it up in time, but it reminds me of this one right here. Let's see. You can't hear it. Darn it. Okay, yeah, I know you can't hear it. But this is Steve Martin in The Jerk. And he starts off, I was born a poor black child.
Yep. Son of a sharecropper. Yep. Old Steve. I
literally cannot believe that he did that. It's like, Mike, it's like he doesn't realize that the internet is forever. That how are you going to explain this to people?
Oh, he won't have to because the media won't ask him those questions.
I don't see. Well, first of all, I think the rest of the country, I think the Democratic Party, even in the rest of the country, is just going to look at him and say, "Yeah, dude, no, we're not doing this with you."
I think I would tend to disagree. I think the Democrat Party is going to take them on face value and say, and the moment one of us says, that's not the same story you told before, they're going to go, stop being a racist. Like, how am I racist? He's white and I'm white. I don't know, but
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter because, see, for them, Democrat is synonymous with white. I mean, with black. With black. So if you're Republican is white, Democrat is black. In fact, they argued that in the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
When they were talking about during the voting rights case, they were literally trying to compare. It was like they were saying, look, black folks need to be able to vote how they can vote, and they're not able to elect Democrats in these districts, so therefore it's a bigoted or a racist district.
Yes, I remember. I remember to it and remember it well. Yeah, listen to it and remember it well.
Yeah, that's what they were arguing. Anyway, it is well beyond idiotic. It's I just the very fact that he thinks he can get away with it. Here's the thing, folks. Here's what he's telling you. He thinks you're stupid. He thinks you're dumb.
Yeah. No, absolutely right. But again, the Dems will buy it. 90% of them will buy it, no problem, and vote for him.
Well, but I think that there are a lot of folks who are in. I think there are a lot of folks who are reasonable people who are like, yeah, no. I mean, I really think the biggest challenge he's going to have is this. If he's the nominee, the media will do everything possible to kowtow and kiss his butt. Yeah. But during the primaries, it's going to be about, because you're going to have him, you're going to have, you're going to have what's-her-face, AOC, Alex the bartender. She's going to be trying to prove how hood she is, although the fact she went to a private school and grew up in a suburb, in suburbia, she's going to pretend, and she's going to put on her best Latino accent. You may even have Zohran Mamdani running for president because, the Muslim, but the Islamic jihadist, Marxist running for president, but they're all lying about who they are, or who they were, or how they grew up, all in order to get elected.
That's right. Willing to lie about anything to get what they want because they believe the ends justify the means.
Exactly, and as we all know, you ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie.
You got to lie, Craig.
Anyway, now this guy. Now, by the way, this does not surprise me, and I'm sure it does not surprise you. But we still need to make sure that as a part of the record, we are bringing up, or we are reminding you of all of the acts of violence that have been brought about or perpetuated by the left. Because guess what? Right now, political violence seems to be a legitimate tool of the left. As exemplified here, FBI, Minnesota man arrested after offering to pay $450,000 bounty for murder of U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi. It says here, a man in St. Paul, Minnesota is accused of posting a TikTok video offering to pay a bounty for the murder of U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi. The suspect, identified as Tyler Maxon Avalos, allegedly posted an image of Bondi with a caption that read, "Wanted, Pam Bondi, reward $45,000, dead or alive, preferably dead." Fox News reported on Monday. It says, an image of the alleged post appears to have a sniper scope dot on a photo of Bondi, and there it is, right. You can see it right there. It says a Fox News article said the suspect is also accused of writing "cough cough" when they don't serve us, then what? On the post. A federal investigation was launched once another TikTok user flagged the post. Officials arrested the suspect in an apartment building on Thursday, and now he faces federal charges in the case. Now, okay, so the first question I have is, okay, if dude is living in an apartment in Minnesota, can he really afford $45,000?
Well, it's going to be on a payment plan. He's got to cash in those EBT checks every month,
Oh, okay.
So you get like $4,300 a month, so you just could pay it back over 11 months or so. You make those payments.
Well, All I know is once again, here you have a case. We have people who are perpetuating violence against Republicans. And here's the thing: do you really think he meant? I mean, here. Well, let me clarify. Do I really think he wanted him dead? He wanted her dead. Yes. Do I really think he was soliciting, actively soliciting, honestly soliciting someone to kill her? No. But I think that you shouldn't allow stuff like this because it creates a permission structure. It's one thing if you say you don't like somebody. It's another thing that you said, you know what? If an accident happened to him, I wouldn't be upset. But it's a whole other thing to say, hey, I'll kick you down some cash if you take him out.
Yeah, and either or, listen, this is more about, like you said, perpetuating the violence. He's making it okay in everybody's minds out there. Well, at least the whack job guys, like the guy who killed Charlie Kirk, making it okay to believe that it's all right to kill these people, that it's all right to take violence up against them. That's what he's doing.
Right, because now tell me you couldn't see some whack job going out doing exactly what that dude was soliciting her to do and then hitting him up on Facebook. All right, dude, where's my money?
Yeah. I was told he's the devil. She's a Nazi, and I had to get rid of her to save our country.
Right. I saved the country. So where's my money?
Yep.
I mean, guys, come on, look. How many examples on the left, how many examples of this do you need to see? How many times do you need to see this stuff happen before you realize, yeah, probably we shouldn't be doing this. We shouldn't be talking like this.
Right.
At a certain point, y'all got to be accountable.
Evidently more, because they haven't gotten the picture yet. Yeah.
Yeah, evidently more. Another set of examples that we need to pay attention to. Now, this is two different issues put together, right? This is criminal illegals, and this is at the same time, this is also healthcare for illegal immigrants. And if you want to know how bad the funding of healthcare for illegal immigrants issue is, take a look at this story. This is being reported by Breitbart. HHS illegals convicted of sex crimes, attempted murder receive over $230,000 in taxpayer-funded health care benefits. Several illegal aliens convicted of sex crimes and attempted murder have received hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of taxpayer-funded Medicaid benefits, the Department of Health and Human Services detailed. The federal government remains shut down. HHS Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill has posted on X just a handful of cases where illegal alien convicts have been able to secure Medicaid benefits, despite Democrats' claims that such cases do not exist. Abraham Pineda Tovar is an 84-year-old illegal alien from Guatemala convicted of sex offenses. He received $7,829 in free free taxpayer-funded health care through Medicaid, O'Neill wrote on X. Democrats are demanding continued funding of this sex offender's Medicaid as a condition for reopening the government and paying the hard-working public servants at my department. In another example, O'Neill mentioned a case of 38-year-old illegal alien George Bestman, convicted of sexual assault in 2021, who received more than $5,500 in Medicaid benefits. A similar instance is the case of 33-year-old Elias Nwenda, convicted of sex crimes, who has received a whopping $176,756 in Medicaid benefits, as well as 41-year-old illegal alien Galak Ratagai, convicted of attempted second-degree murder after he beat a man with a baseball bat, who received more than $34,000 in Medicaid benefits. And once again, and I forgot it. So the third story is it's tied to the government shutdown, because these are people who, if the Democrats get their way as a part of their condition to reopen the government, will get health care benefits again.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I saw some stats today, Craig. It's something like 80% of illegal immigrants in this country are receiving benefits thanks to the Biden administration.
Well, and that's the thing. And, I hear people say, I hear all the time, there was a time we didn't have any immigration laws. If you could get here, if you could get to Ellis Island, then you could come in and you could be a citizen. And I make sure to explain to them the difference between then and now is this. We weren't a welfare state then. If you got here and you didn't get work, if you chose not to work, then you were choosing not to eat. You were choosing not to have a roof over your head. You were dependent on yourself. But when you have a government system, a state that says, we're going to make sure that people have food. We're going to make sure that people have a roof over their head. We're going to make sure they have a phone. We're going to make sure they have an internet. We're going to make sure they have education. Well, these people aren't here. They're not on their own anymore. They're on the taxpayer dime.
Yep.
And so, no, if we're going to have these handouts, right, these benefits that you get just for showing up here, whether you're legal or not, then we get to determine who gets those benefits. It's not a benefit. It's not a right.
Yeah, agreed. They're just bilking the system, and this is all what it's about with the Democrats. Trying to get the money back to the people so they could buy their votes.
Yes, you hit the nail right on the head. It's in the end, we know what it's about, and it's about buying votes.
Yep.
All right, folks, so that's now going to bring us to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces, one word, and get your Hog Holster today. All our parting shots today are going to be brought to you by our folks over at the Babylon Bee, fake news that you can trust. Story number one, Republicans donate $50 million to Kamala 2028 campaign. Okay, we know this is fake news, but I think it sounds like a good idea. Let her run. Encourage her to run.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, put her back up, please.
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 Do us a please.
We already had the president this week, hint towards a Rubio Vance ticket or a Vance Rubio ticket. Let her run, please.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you hear about Zoran Mondani when he was talking about 9/11, how he was talking about how the real victims are the Muslims who felt like they could no longer ride the subway in their hijab, like her aunt, after 9/11 because people were, quote unquote, looking at her funny? Well, it turns out that's not a true story. But here is a true story. Heartbreaking. Terrorist shares how he got dirty looks while boarding subway in a suicide vest after 9/11.
The good old S vest. Yeah, it's tough. Although in the subway, I don't know how you'd be able to tell the difference. There's so much freak show going on down there. It's tough to think that you can spot them.
Well, you know what? Kind of like subway. Let's talk a little bit about New York. Jets starting to wonder if they should try a different sport.
Yeah. I saw one this week that they were accused of cheating, and somebody responded. I think the coach responded. Well, what? So we could lose by more?
like really? Anyway, yeah, it was. They've had a rough go of it, but they finally got one this weekend.
Perfect record.
No, they fought. Didn't they win this weekend?
Oh, did they? See, I've given up on them.
Yeah,
I gave up on them like 20 years ago, though.
Yeah. By the way, funny post. I meant to copy it, but there was someone who pointed out they were talking about Monday Night Football was between the Chiefs and the Commanders. It's like, am I the only one who finds it ironic that you have two teams playing on Monday Night Football? One who has a name who changed their name because it was considered offensive, dealing with Native Americans, and one who has a name that, according to those standards, should be considered offensive against Native Americans.
Yeah. But you know what? Nobody's paying attention to football.
Well, that's the difference between Washington, D.C. and Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Anyway. All right, folks. Well, that's going to be it for today's program. But before we go, we're going to give another quick shout out to our sponsors.
Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Get on over there, get yourself some AR barrels. They got rifle caliber, pistol caliber. They got any length you desire. They have also got barrels for other rifles, other pistols. Check them out. It's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, security, fire, EMS, camping, Boy Scout gear, paintball, whatever it may be, get your group together, get your agency together, place an order at uscombatgear.com, where you can get everything except the gun.
That's right, folks. Once again, please take a moment and visit our sponsors. All you have to do is follow the links in the description to this program. Go there, check them out, spend some money with them. And when you do, make sure you tell them it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you. All right, that's going to be it for today's show, number 999. Tomorrow will be episode 1000. I hope that you will join us because we're going to try and have a good time. Worst case scenario, we'll be here.
Party time.
Party time, Italian style. All right, I'll let y'all later.